I feel like I don't know if we've spoken about like being controversial or like being like taking a stand on something on here, but there are just some things that I'm like. So first of all, with real life, okay, this Boeing door thing. You remember that door that blew off the side of that Boeing?
Yeah. And they grounded
People are
they
like
grounded a bunch of
making
the
big
planes and stuff, right?
right. So like it was that one, right? But then I think last night, or sometime today, 2 days ago, I don't know. This like freight, this Boeing 747 like freight airliner. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's a freight airliner. I don't think it was a passenger airliner. One of the engines catches fire as it's taking off, like it's in the air, right? And when an engine catches on fire and it's on video, just fireballs coming out of this engine. Okay.
Was this near
Well,
Miami?
yeah.
I seen videos of that,
Okay.
yeah.
So it turned around and it landed, and the pilots were fine. Okay. When you look at Twitter, all of the comments underneath it, can you want to guess what they say?
I don't know. Something, I don't know, terroristic or something. I don't know.
Yeah, sort of. They say, number one, they're like fear mongering people. Oh, they must not want anyone to fly anymore. Oh, they must be trying to shut down airlines so that people fly less and travel
Oh,
less.
yeah. Okay. I can see
Right?
that. I can see that.
Or the other thing, and this was the most popular. Well, all these DEI hires, the diversity, equity, and inclusion hires, how's that working out for you? Now you got doors blowing off and engines blowing up because you're hiring for diversity and not for brains. And
That's
I
terrible.
just think it's an excuse for people to say that.
That's a terrible thing to say too. Like that,
I
like,
think it's a complete excuse. And so like, I can have I have my opinion on, I think that, I think if you have to force something, then there's still like a form of racism in there.
mm,
I do feel like if people want equality, it should just be equality with your brains. That's it, right?
yeah.
But but now all these people are saying, oh, it's because you've hired in people of minorities and they're not as smart, so now things are blowing up and falling off. That's not at all the case, and it makes me want to scream that these people are still hiring people who know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, and then I just saw a report that like none of the major airlines have had a crash in 10 years or something. I don't know. I'd have to look the number back up. They just got done bragging about how safe airlines were.
Yeah.
These two things happen, and now all of a sudden they don't want us to fly anymore. And the minorities that you've hired for diversity, equality, and inclusion are screwing stuff up. Nah, nah.
Yeah.
That's not why it happened. Shit's gonna happen. We don't know if that plane flew into a bird. Okay? We don't know what happened. Like, engines just, a
Well,
belt can look fine and it snaps.
I can tell you what went wrong. It's called Murphy's Law, and what can go wrong will go wrong. Like, I mean, it's just gonna happen. Like,
Yeah.
if there's a possibility of something bad happening to something, whatever it may be, like it's gonna happen at some point.
Yeah.
And it's one thing if it happens over and over and over and over and over, then you can maybe start like trying to figure, okay, what's the root cause of these problems? But for something like this to happen, we have a door come off, we have an engine catch on fire. These are probably like planes that have just been flying and flying and flying and flying, and like just people in and out on these planes. Like, the smallest thing could cause an issue, whether it be just like maintenance not being done properly, people cutting corners, or, you know, inspections not being done properly, cutting corners. Like, people need to just look in the mirror sometimes and stop pointing the finger. People are so fast to, like, when things just don't go right, to just find a way to like get out, like not be the one blamed. So
Yeah. Oh.
yep, that's what I said, buddy.
Okay, so I don't know. Anyway, there's just all this stuff talking about this fake engine safety requirements and stuff. But anyway, I just wanted to scream when I was reading that.
I'm sick
Like
and
those are
tired
the
of.
two things those are the two overwhelming answers. Fear mongering and DEI movements are causing the doors to come off and engines to fail.
You know what it
I
is
don't even know if
like,
that engine failed. Like we don't have a clue if that engine failed. We don't know what happened.
yeah, people are just now so drastic to jump to the most crazy thing since COVID. Like
Yeah,
no
it's the
nobody
most
nobody trusts anybody anymore. Like it's like
no.
ever since COVID now has hit, everybody's just immediately like they're out to do something to us. Like this is something's going on. Like it can never just be like you were saying earlier, like it just happened, like it was just a fluke. We have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. Has to be the most politically divisive stuff that you go to.
And then who's not who's like, get this. Let's take it a step further. Who's to say that these people that you've seen these comments from aren't like bots from other rival countries like say China or Russia that are just getting on there trying to stir up shit in the United States? Like that's
Yeah,
another
and
aspect of this thing to think about.
you know what? And there's no control over that, right? And it could be so. Um, yeah, because when I talk to people in real life, and believe me when I tell you, I have a job that takes me into real life moments with real life people
Yeah.
who are impacted by government decisions. I get to speak with these people, and let me tell you, I am very rarely, racially profiled, and I go into every neighborhood you can imagine, right? Well off and not well off, and people holding doors open for you. People will joke about political stuff, people, around the area, and then everybody sort of comes to this middle ground, right? There's no freaking like all these voices that are so loud making you think that everyone's so divided and making you afraid of all these things, like they all come out. I feel like they're the minority, but they all come out at the same time to make it feel like their numbers are big. Or like you said, it could be somebody setting us up, because when you go out in real life, like, yeah, there's pockets of people with big time differences, and you can watch YouTube all day long and find, you know, people going into, conservatives going into liberal protests, or, somebody who's more, Democrat going into a Republican speech, and sharing, like both parties disrupt each other.
Yeah.
And you can find that, but like in the commonplace, everybody is way more together than what people want you to think. What maybe people in power want you to think.
Yeah. I mean, a good example is like I don't know. Look at highways, you know? Look at people driving on the roads and like how many people just like, follow rules and just chug along, you know?
Yeah. I guess there's some people that don't, but
I
yeah,
know that's kind of
mostly,
like
yeah.
a silly thing to think about, but like I don't know, think about like if you get like in an accident, a fender bender, like think about the people that stop. Like I've seen
Hmm.
numerous times where like people get in accidents and there's just like several people that'll stop to make sure everybody's okay, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So anyway,
We've had so much negative like impact from social media that we don't get as much exposure to like those just like nice moments of like feeling like there's still hope for humanity and
Yeah.
the kindness of humanity. We need to see more of that in the world.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. But anyway, I don't know if that was like really controversial or anything, but like I just when it comes to life stuff, that's been on my mind a lot. I just think it's insane. It's insane that that's what I was reading all over that post about an engine failure.
And you read this post on X?
Yeah.
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 I think I
So,
seen
I
that
mean,
same post. I just didn't go into the comments.
yeah, I read the comments and they were just so stupid. Like I don't expect to find like all my news and like gather information from there a lot. But when you're talking, like, I don't know, we talk about stuff. So it's like, what kind of stupid things are people blaming this on? That was my curiosity.
Well, what's good about
And
it?
sure enough, it was dumb.
Yeah, what's good about X and bad about X is like you get people's knee-jerk reactions things.
Yeah.
Instead of like, okay, Bob, in about 5 minutes, you're going to be in front of a group of media, and we're going to ask you about these recent incidents with the airplanes. So prepare yourself for your response. No, it's just like people see it and they go, oh, and they vomit into their phone, whatever they're thinking in that moment. And it could be everything from just like they want to be funny, right? They want to troll and be funny and just like get the people chatting going, or they like want to actually send a serious response. And so, like, yeah, it's just knee jerk reactions and how people are feeling in the moment, and knowing that they're hidden behind their phones. So
Yeah.
there's
That's
good
right.
and bad to it. The good is like you get to see kind of like the true thoughts of people like immediately when they see things. But
Yeah. So let's stick with sports if you'd like for a little bit. And what's going on in your part of the world with sports? What is intriguing the mind of I'm famished here?
well, in about a little over 15 minutes, the Polynesian Bowl is about to start at 9. And that is a high school bowl game that is over in Hawaii, and Nebraska, who is my favorite team, has 3 recruits at that game. One being, of course, Dylan Raiola, and then we have a tight end, Carter Nelson, and then there was a local um, Hawaiian kid that's also there. 4-star offensive lineman coming out of Hawaii, and forgive me, I don't have his name in front of me at the moment. But he has looked very impressive, so I'm probably going to try to catch the highlights of that tomorrow because after we're done here, I'm going to be streaming. So, um, but
Yeah.
other than that, in the sporting world, if there's anything else that I can think of, I'm looking forward to seeing how the NFL playoffs pan out. I haven't watched any of the wild card games, but I caught some like minor news article highlights and stuff like that, but I haven't really dabbled in it too much. But I'm very interested to see how it works out. I'm thinking obviously it's probably going to be the 49ers or the Ravens that walk away with the Super Bowl in my opinion this year. But I've
Yeah.
also been very happy to see that like a team like the Lions got through the wild card round. That was really
Yeah.
cool.
That was really cool that the Lions finally got a win. And prior to the season, I said that it was probably I was on the 49er train. Not a fan, 49ers, so to speak, but I'm also not a diehard fan of any NFL team.
Me either.
So the 49ers, that I was on them before the season, and I've got witnesses to that. Not you. I don't think we talked about it because we don't talk a lot NFL.
Yeah.
Um, but matter of fact, I think I was talking to our guy Buckshot about it, and so he knows. He knows.
Yeah. Hey, if
But
the 49ers win, DiCaprio grins. We may have our
you're
post
right. The
Super Bowl win.
49ers win. DiCaprio grins.
There he is in the
So
background. Nice.
anyway, you got to see the mess that is my background there. So
Uh,
behind the scenes,
we all have it.
uh, yes, that's right. We've all got the
Dirty
closet
laundry.
mess there.
Dirty
Dirty
laundry pile.
laundry. Yeah, you just saw the dirty laundry. So, we're, but we're bearing the lead. Uh, retirement for Mr. Nick Saban.
That's right. Oh my gosh, why did I not remember that? Yeah, Nick Saban retiring. What a freaking mic drop moment in sports. Like, holy crap, dude.
Yeah.
Not even just a mic drop. Like that was like somebody accidentally dropped the mic and went, "Oh crap, what?" and like tried to pick it up and they're fumbling it back into their hands. Wow.
Yeah.
What a just iconic legend of a career, you know? Like
Hmm.
Alabama in that prime. I don't know the years because I try to forget them. Um, man, what a miserable time for any college football fan that was not an Alabama fan. But man, what a ride it had to be an Alabama fan during that time. I
Yeah.
mean, even up to this past year, man, they were still in the college football playoff. Like, man, if he could have gone out with a championship, would he have retired? Would he have stuck around? I don't know, but man,
Yeah. I don't know. I think he probably just maybe he was done, but I also think this new way of college football, he's just like, I'm not doing this.
yeah, ran him off.
Yeah, like it's too much work. Not only are you out recruiting, but then you have to continuously recruit, right? You don't just recruit a team. You recruit always.
Hmm.
Like transfer portal, normal recruiting. You know, I don't know. And now NIL money has to come into play for some kids. It's just it's probably he probably was just like, you know what? I'm good.
You know how I
Time
envision
to go.
this? You know how I envision this? The NCAA football was like two horses and a wagon, just like steady momentum, hauling butt down this like prairie trail, right? In this open field, just booking it. And everybody's just like excited about this wagon with these horses pulling it, right? But then all of a sudden, a couple of horses come up on another wagon, and there's no cowboy on the wagon. And the wagon says, transfer portal. And this guy's like, shit, I gotta get a hold of this wagon. And then on the other side, another fucking wagon with two more horses, no fucking cowboy. NIL. Dang it. We gotta get a hold of all this. This is a mess. This is how I envision this right now. I apologize for my language, but it's just like right now it's just like a madhouse, and it's just like, you know, no one's at the reins of these wagons, and the NCAA or whoever has got to get a hold of all this and get it under control. And it starts by slowing it
Yeah.
down, slow it down a little bit, make some
Yeah.
windows of when you can transfer, windows of NIL. Like I know we already have those windows, but like fix that first. Like make it more sound to where people can't be transferring like when bowl games are coming up and stuff like that. Like fix those things, you know, slow it down a little bit and then get it under control.
Yeah. I agree. I don't know how they'll do it, but we'll let the real experts do it. We're just going to talk like a couple of regular dudes who think it needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Just like my college football needs promotion and relegation argument. I will
Man.
stand on it. It needs it. And I've seen a lot of people talking about it. It continues to pick up steam, and there's a lot of different ideas on how it would work. But ultimately,
Yeah.
without all the details and the hustle and bustle of it, honestly, I mean, imagine Indiana or Illinois or Vanderbilt or I don't know. Think of a horrible team. Who's a horrible team? I mean, think of Kansas for all those years that were irrelevant, right?
Yeah.
Think of Baylor all the years they were 1-10 overall.
Yeah.
Okay? Imagine those stadiums packed because Kansas had to beat Kansas State on the last day of conference play in order not to be relegated down to the second division.
Yeah.
Right? Imagine Kansas had to beat Texas Tech. No one would give a crap about Texas Tech and Kansas on the last conference day play, right? If they were in Kansas. No one would care about Baylor and Kansas. Certainly no national television broadcast would pick it up.
Yeah.
But if it was to stay in the division in that conference and not be relegated down to the conference below to play teams below, it would be huge. And oh, don't go all up in arms. If Kansas was relegated, say to, I don't know, whatever another conference is in the center, like the WAC or something, right? Or the Sun Belt or something. Who cares? Because I'll bet you the next season they're going to win a lot of games, unless everyone transfers, right? They may have a mass exodus of transfers, but they're going to keep some players too because they're there to get an education at Kansas, right? And so they're going to keep some.
Yeah.
And but they're also going to collect a lot of transfers that at a high level from those lower level schools, right? So some of the stars at the lower level schools, they may all say, "Hey, that's usually a bigger program. We might try going there because when they come here, they're most likely going to go back up." So the next year, Kansas might win 10 games.
Yeah.
Because they're playing lesser opponents, and you're going to sell out the stadium, and they could potentially win a trophy or a tournament, at that level.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's all I'm going to leave it at. I'm just saying, imagine making everything important from the top to the bottom, right? And you would do it. You would do it doing that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that makes sense. A lot of it, I like the sound of that. My train of thought is kind of going here. The recruiting aspect of it, I'd be curious how that would like pan out with the different tiers and stuff like that. But you're right, like there could be like your top tier teams that are all the way promoted to the top tier that have like backups that are tired of being backups and they want to go play for a team, so they may transfer to a lower relegated team so they know they have a chance to start, and it'd be the similar scenarios. But I think it would have kind of a tough impact on like recruits and where they go from high school. Like I can see a lot of these high school kids that may not want to take a chance of going to a relegated school that's like in tier 3 that hopes that they'll get that team to tier 1 by the end of their career at that team, like they make it kind of difficult.
No, that's not their goal, but that's not their goal, right? They could set out to try that. But look, it's no different. Kids already go to the Southern Western Athletic Conference, the SWAC. They already go there.
Yeah.
Kids already go to Sun Belt. They already go to the WAC. They already go to the Missouri Valley Conference. They already go to the MAC, right? Kids are already recruited there. It makes no difference if it's a second division now. Kids that win the MAC, right? Let's say Akron or Northern Illinois, or I don't know, say Western Michigan or something. Say they win the MAC championship. The next season, what's the best thing they can hope for? Winning the MAC.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And kids are already going to those schools. So recruiting, I think, has nothing to do with it because they already know that conference is lesser than the Big Ten. They already know it's lesser than the Big 12. Makes no difference. But now, imagine maybe some of those kids, a couple more of those kids, maybe go to Northern Illinois because they know they can win the MAC. And the next season, if they win the MAC, they get to replace the bottom team in the Big Ten, and they get to go compete at the Big Ten level. And you know what that does? Puts you in front of more professional scouts. That puts you in front of those other big programs. And with transfer portal, if you show out against one of them, some of those coaches that never knew your name, they might see you. So honestly, I don't think it will have impact the recruiting in any way. I think it'll increase the transfer portal, which who cares? Because it's already out of control. If you put the controls on it, like you said, then now you have a controlled beast that is a huge beast. Yeah. It's like a trained elephant, right? It's huge and it's going to move, but at least it's trained.
Yeah.
You know, it's got controls on it. So
yeah, I like the point you made. I mean, it can be beneficial for those smaller schools to have, dreams and aspirations of being in a higher tier and possibly playing for against the big dogs like
Yeah.
you're saying. So yeah, I mean I
Yeah.
can see, like I said, there's definitely some benefits to it. I like a lot of the ideas that you're spitting out, and a lot of the ideas do make sense. Um, I'm just I just loved college football the way it was before it was all thrown all over the
Yeah.
place, you know. But
I agree.
it's still fun. So it is what it is. I'm gonna keep watching. I'm gonna keep being a fan. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
I can flap my gums all I want about things that I like and I don't like, but at the end of the day, I have no control, and I'm gonna watch my team no matter what, as long as they're a team. So
Yeah. You know it. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. You know it. So, speaking of promotion, so Alabama, Nick Saban retires,
Hmm.
and who do they go get?
Washington
None
head
other than
coach.
the Washington head coach.
Yeah.
I just think that is incredible. And then, have you seen the memes of him? Uh, it says on his first day of work, you know that there's a meme where I can't think of the actor's name, but he's just like he's in this area and it's empty, and he's just like
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Oh
looking around,
gosh.
no one's there, and it has like the Alabama meeting room where all the players are supposed to sit, and it's just him.
Yeah, I can't remember the actor's name, but I know exactly
Yeah.
the what you're talking about.
Like so many high profile players are already in the transfer portal for Alabama, and this quarterback, this high level quarterback, is going to enter the portal apparently.
Yeah,
Like it's just going to be a mass change, man, and I hope that he can recover that because he worked so hard at Washington to get them where they are. He deserves a chance to win those kids' trust, but I don't know if they'll wait. Like kids don't wait around to see if someone else, a lot of kids. Some kids will,
yeah,
right? But some kids will just take off before they even get a chance to know if he's worthy of that room, you know? And if you can do what you did in Washington, you can recruit, I think, in the SEC.
yeah. People just definitely need to just give him a chance. You know, he's obviously a good coach, so give him a chance, see what happens. But um, and I guess, I mean, these players, these recruits, they build these connections with these coaches, and they've probably even already been recruited by this Washington coach before, especially if they're like a high tier recruit. Like I think it's Sayan is his last name. Was that high tier
Yeah.
quarterback that's leaving Alabama? Um,
Yep.
so I'm sure they may have had discussions before, and he may just already know this guy's personality just doesn't fit who I am. Like his coaching style doesn't fit who I am. So you may already just know like this isn't going to work for me.
Yeah.
Even though he's a great coach and he got Washington the championship or the playoff, like he could just be like, I'm going to go with my second best option, which I think there's rumors swirling around possible Ohio State for that kid now. So
Mm,
we'll see.
yeah. That's true. They would have taken big time recruiting trips elsewhere, and they might have built a nice bond with somebody. And they say, "Hey, that guy, that coach isn't my coaching style." Yeah, I mean, look how I don't know. I feel like if I were a quarterback, that guy from Washington would be my style. I mean, look what he
Yeah.
did with Penix Jr.
I mean,
But you know what? Oh well, you're right. I mean, relationships are built, and it could have just been as something as simple as that.
yeah, DeBoer definitely makes some pretty nasty. He's got some pretty neat stuff with what he does with his offense that gets his receivers open and in open space. So, yeah, I
Hmm.
mean it's a bummer, but who knows?
Yeah. Well, anything else in the sports world, bud, that's tickling your fancy a little bit here? Anything else to comment on?
How about old Bill Belichick, New England Patriots,
Yeah.
parting
Not
ways?
retiring, by the way.
No, parting ways. That's
Yep.
interesting. And
Yep.
apparently the Atlanta Falcons have been in contact interviewing him.
Yep.
So,
And they've interviewed Jim Harbaugh.
yeah, and I heard Jim Harbaugh also interviewed like interview with the Chargers, the LA Chargers, if I'm not mistaken. I've heard that as
I didn't
well.
hear that.
Yeah, he interviewed with
Yeah.
the LA Chargers as well. But then you see some Michigan guys transferring right now, so that shows there may be some steam with that. But
Hmm.
I don't think there's been too many, but there's definitely been some transfers going on.
So, with that being said, um, I think there's nothing else really. Um, I think the Falcons had their second interview with Belichick, so I think that's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
I think it's going to happen.
Atlanta. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're in a shiny new building. I mean,
Yeah.
they're in a $1 billion stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Go get you a coach that's won $1 billion worth of Super Bowl rings.
Yep.
So
Should be fun, man.
yeah, but anyway, moving off of sports, man, we got gaming too. We
Yep.
talk about everything. So take the floor, bud. What's going on? What are you playing right now? What are you doing on your streams?
Still streaming on Kick. And right now I have been playing still Fortnite. I've been trying this new spin the wheel challenge that you can get like through a web page online where you spin this fun wheel and it tells you different things. Like you can only use, I don't know, shotguns for the round, or you can only use your pickaxe for the round, or you can only use grenades, stuff like that. And it just makes it a little fun challenges to do. And then on the side, I've been playing another game called Deep Rock Galactic, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Deep Rock Galactic, and it's just like this fun dwarf like mining game where you go to these like really cool locations in deep underground, and you're just mining materials for different things that you can use the materials for, whether it be for like upgrading weapons, gear, tools, as well as like you know other things. I'm still figuring the game out, but it's really fun so far, and I've had some viewers chime in and enjoy watching me play it. So that'll be one that I think I'll play as more of like a chill game when I don't feel like being sweaty. Um, and other than that, I want to play some other games, but those are the kind of the two that I've been playing the most as of right now. But eventually, you and I have got to get some Age of Empires in. We got to play some Age of Empires together on stream.
Oh, love that game.
Yeah,
That game and FIFA kept me alive when I had COVID. 5 weeks of bedridden COVID back a couple years ago.
yeah,
Uh, I swear, Age of Empires and FIFA kept me alive.
yeah. For sure. I can remember you going through that. Yeah, I think you had to have put, I don't know, you had to have been on Age of Empires at least like what, 6 hours a day back then, if not more, 6 to 8 hours a day.
Yeah, yeah. I would rotate it. I would either wake up and start a FIFA career mode. I think I played through like 12 seasons of a career mode. Like I just binged it all day, and then the next day it would just be Age of Empires all day long.
Nice.
But I love it,
Those are some of
and
the
I'm still
best
not that
gaming
good at
moments.
it. So I don't know how.
It's okay. That's all right, man. As long as you're having fun, that's all that matters. That's what
Yeah,
I've been trying to
yeah,
focus on too while I'm streaming is like, don't get myself too caught up in like trying to be the best. Just like have fun, like if I'm having fun while I'm streaming, that's what's going to be the most important. And I think the people that tune in to watch, they're just going to want to tune in to watch like a fun stream. Of course, it's fun to watch somebody that's really good at a game too, but that'll come. I'll eventually get to a point where I'm pretty good at something. So, which I'm not
yeah.
terrible at most games I play, but there's definitely a learning curve when I try something new. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, man.
Yeah, well, you'll get Rocket League going again too, I'm sure.
Yeah, I haven't played it in a while. I'll probably be pretty bad at that right now. I had a family member of mine that has tuned in before and was telling me that it was kind of hard to watch as like someone who hasn't really played the game. Um,
Yeah.
so I've been trying to keep that in mind too, like because I know that game's not really for everybody. But of course, there's a lot of viewers out there that probably would enjoy watching it. So it's just whenever I feel like playing a game and it's gonna make it a fun experience for me to play while I'm streaming, like I'm just gonna go for it and play it. But at the same time, I am kind of taking a break from the Rocket League while I'm playing some other things.
Yeah. Hey, that's a solid decision, right? To play a game just for viewership, you're not going to feel right. This is like long term. This is just something that you do to have a hobby, to get away, to feel something different, right?
Yeah,
And so if you force it, you're not going to get that change. You're not going to get that feeling you're looking for. So it's a great point to play what feels like you're going to have fun playing.
yep, yep.
Yeah.
Well, what about you, man? How's the YouTube world treating you?
It's just steady, status quo,
Yeah,
nothing too crazy. I haven't made any new shorts in a while. Um, I gotta. That's another thing. You can't force it,
Yeah.
right? There's been a handful that I've forced from time to time, and I don't know if it's just when you force it, it's not as good. Um, but those views don't hit. But then there's
Yeah.
others where it's just lightning strikes you, like Big and Tall Umbrella came out of nowhere. I was
Yeah.
just literally sitting at this desk, and just lightning struck my brain out of nowhere. I made Big and Tall Umbrella, you know, over 1,000 views like that, right? And climbs.
Yeah.
Black Stone Griddle, the one that I made where it looks like there's a mat that helps you cook things, and there's a little corner where there's no mat, and I talk about that being a free space where you can cook anything.
Yeah.
Uh, like I was just walking by the Blackstone Griddle, and right, it just hit a lightning, and bam, 6,000 views, like that. So just fun things like calling donkeys llamas and turkeys eagles. Like people just they just get a kick out of it, I think, and some people
Yeah.
just like, they like your parents didn't give you any animal books when you were young, did they? Just
Yeah.
like the comments, the trolls, I love it.
The knee-jerk
Absolutely.
reactions.
Yeah, I love it. It's
Yeah.
it's funny. So the thing I was complaining about earlier with the plane situation where people have knee-jerk reactions blaming certain stuff on certain people they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Uh Same thing here. I kind of troll knee-jerk reactions. I purposely call animals and things the wrong thing, or make a video about a beach umbrella that's actually a three-person umbrella for the big and tall.
Yeah.
So
The world is your playground, my friend.
that's it. It's a playground. And so anyway, other than that, posting a lot of NCAA football. You were just recently here, so we got
Yeah.
that video up. We were told it's the funniest video we've ever made, and
Really?
I think, um, yeah, yeah. But I also thought the one that Buckshot and I did was quality as well.
Oh
So
yeah, it was
when
good.
when we're together, it's freaking hilarious. And we had the idea. We were in a text thread last night, and we talked about how we could win life, and if we did this thing, everything else we did in life would be a side quest because life would be complete.
Yeah.
If we all three met, because we live very far apart from each other,
Yeah, we do.
4 hours, 5 hours, 9 hours apart from each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if we were all to meet at some McDonald's somewhere halfway, and we took the tablet, I brought my 32-inch TV that I screen record, and we just did PlayStation 2 NCAA Football '07 with all three of us sitting there together in the middle of a McDonald's.
You just hear in like
Uh,
the McDonald's kitchen with the beeping noises in the background. Yeah.
yeah. And we just found a corner booth and we just posted up all of our stuff. We'd have to find a McDonald's that gives free Wi-Fi and employees who don't give a shit because
Shouldn't be hard to find. Shouldn't be hard to
they
find.
wouldn't want us to they wouldn't want to kick us out. And
Yeah.
I think they would find it hilarious.
Yeah.
So if we did that and we set up on a booth with a 32-inch screen TV, a Microsoft Surface, and a microphone, and just had a PlayStation 2 running on free Wi-Fi, it would be brilliant. And so anyway, NCAA football, the one where you're at my house, we got it uploaded. So I've now been able to do one with you and Buckshot. It was so much fun. It was so awesome,
Yeah.
both of those.
I had a great time too.
And then so the two main games that I've been playing is that and then WWF SmackDown 2, and I'm still doing that all the time. And just watching our players move up the rankings, and so I'll post those 20-30 minute videos usually because it's one match each.
Yeah.
So quick, easy watches, but so much fun to watch. And my reaction, of course, I get fired up because I get so upset at video games.
Yeah.
So that genuine reaction you get. But I'm going to be starting something else if I can get it to work, because I have NCAA March Madness, the basketball game 2007, and I have NBA Live 2007, and I'm pretty sure you can save the like the classes out of the NCAA game.
Mm-hmm.
You can save like the classes, and people who want to go to the pro draft or whatever, you can save it and then start a franchise mode on it on NBA Live, and import the draft class,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
And if that works out appropriately, 2 new series will be starting as we cruise on over the next few weeks. Because I'll start doing that, and we'll do like 1 season alternating. So every season you can see how my team does, because you can only do 1 team in those. I can't do all 3 of us. It'll only allow me to do 1 in each one of those basketball games. But the series will track the players going from college, and then I'll take control of a franchise in NBA Live and draft players. And who knows? Maybe we'll create, each one of us will create a player, and we'll play through the dynasty mode, and we'll play through the NBA Live mode up until all 3 of us retire or something.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that could be the gameplay or something. So I'm gonna get it worked out. So that's what I'm doing. I took a lot of time talking about that, bud, but those are the ideas I've got. So, but I'm tapped. That's all I've
Hey,
got today, man. I was too fired up. I'm exhausted.
yeah, we talked about a lot today. We talked about quite a bit, but hey, I appreciate you, man, and I'm really excited for the content that you're going to be putting out with that, and really enjoying the content you're already putting out.
Likewise,
Um,
buddy. Likewise.
appreciate everyone that is checking out these videos. We really, really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and turn on that notification so you know when these things come out.
Yeah, and don't forget the like button.
Oh yeah,
Smash it.
yeah. Click it like a bunch of times, so make sure that when the last time you click it, it's like lit up. Yeah.
No,
Do
my screen's not frozen. I was just playing.
do that face. Do that face while you're clicking it.
Yeah, that's right.
And
Take a picture, slide that picture into our DMs of you just as you're clicking the button.
exactly, yeah. Hit us
We'll
with some
post in our stories, everything. Yeah,
hit us
it'd
with the
be awesome.
comments, all that jazz. We appreciate y'all. It's been fun. We will catch y'all
Yep.
on the next one.
Yep. All right, man. Later.
Later, dude.